Hi everyone, I'm Grahtles and welcome back to the Best Start 3. This is episode 3 and we are going to be putting in a small amount of coal power. Should bring us in about 600, and then I think we're going to set up over there some small steel production because we need some pipes to get some things done in the MAM, and we want to get to the Mark III belts and get through tiers 3 and 4. I just wanted to stop here for a second and say thank you to Kalis for the 15 super thanks that he left on my Best Start 1.2, thanking me for all the Best Start series. Thank you so much. It's super appreciated. And let's get back to the episode. Thank you. So, here I did set up a little bit of water extractors. I'll show those in a minute, but here on the map is where we are. So there is coal right here, and there's a small water pocket right here, so that'll work for us. So let's go into production and the miner. Go ahead and grab that. Then we're gonna need 8 power generators. This mines up at 120. Each of our coal power generators take 15. So 8 times 15 is 120, and that will work out perfectly. So coal power, we're going to turn the backs to us this way. I'm just going to press H for a minute, make sure that's about where I want to be. Just going to move over a little bit there and put down 8 of these. There we go. So it's pretty centered to the platform. I kind of centered out the back squares. I thought it looked nice that way, so I figured I would do that. So anyway, let's go ahead and put in some lifts. Now these lifts can be Mark 1. They do not need to be Mark 2. I just happen to have a lot of reinforced plates and figured why not. But because they're going into the machines, technically you only need that 15 per minute. These are, 120. Mark 1 would only be 60. So anyway, we can actually turn these back into Mark 1s, right? Just so I could show you, we don't need the Mark IIs. I fell off this. What a waste of your time and my time, but it's all right. I can do that. So anyway, Mark 1s is plenty efficient to do that, except for when we come here. So I'm gonna need to lift. Why is this dropping down? Let's see. All right, that's fine. We're gonna press E, make it a Mark II. I need it to come in at 120 per minute here, right? Because if I don't, it's not going to go fast enough down the line. So anyway, I'm going to put one there. I'm going to press that to get our splitter. And that's going to just go straight down this line right here. There we go. Now again, the belt, has to be a Mark II. Has to get down this line at 120, so each machine will get enough to keep it going. All right, so now the same thing goes for the belt from the miner to here. So this is all Mark II, and then these are Mark I. So that's fine. Let's go down to the water. So I put in 2 water extractors, and the reason being is each one of those power generators take 50. Each one of these, even overclocked, would only give us 300, and these Mark I pipes could only carry 300. So by splitting it up into 2, so 4 machines will get 1 water extractor at 200 per minute because they take 50 each, and the second one will do the same. So pretty easy. They're just split up, and one will go to 4, the other one will go to the other 4. Alright, so we got new T-junctions here, and we're able to use these, and that will be perfect right there. And then we can bring it right to here, and we only need to do 3. Make sure it's turned the right way, because some reason it likes to turn on me. Alright, so now we're ready to put in our pipes. So let's grab those, because they're already painted. We'll come from here. We're just going to go straight. Let's bring it down to there. I'm going to go to R, make it straight, and go to... Wow. Not like that. Go from here to there. Now connect them into the machines. There we go. Alright, let's bring our next set. Keep them nice and straight. And now we can grab our T-junction here. Line it up with that one. Go into there and do the next 3. Like so. Now we can grab that pipe. Yeah, make sure your pipe's going right, because as you can see, that wrapped around for some reason. Alright, I'm just going to paint the T-junctions. So I painted blue because I know it's water, and that helps me to distinguish which pipe is what. Alright, so next, let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and grab this power down in here and hook it up to our miner here. Now, I'm going to grab, I had mined up some coal. So this way, I can fill the machines ahead of time. So this way, as it goes down the manifold system, it'll make it easier to fill up. So now these will all be filled with the coal already, and it'll just be able to maintain it, which is good. So the coal's coming down, that should be perfect. Next, let's grab some power. We're going to grab this power. I'm going to run it down between 2 and 2 machines here. So I guess right about on this line here. And then between these 2 machines should be right about there. And let's bring that to the power I hooked up for the water. And let's make sure the water is turned on. Alright. These pumps are going to start filling. These pumps, they're not pumps, pipes. They're going to start filling, and they're going to fill the machines up all the way down the line. So let's go to the 4th one here, this guy. He's almost full, and we'll go to the last one on this line. And he's almost full. So we'll start with these guys, and we'll start hooking up the power. Now, these are only Mark 1s. I'm going to turn these into Mark 2s. And that's 1. Alright, this one is 1. And I didn't turn this into a Mark 2. We need to do that. Alright, so we started out with 300 power. This should be 900. It is. Perfect. Alright, so our coal power is up and running. We now have a total of 900. And as long as we don't go past that 600, it will not dip into our biomass. So our biomass would not be working unless we went over the 600. So that's good. That's just going to stay idle as a backup. Alright, so let's go head over to our basic steel. Alright, so over here we have some iron and some coal. And some iron and some coal. I kind of did like a little road map for us to try to figure out, well, for me, to figure out exactly how I was getting from one place to another, and eventually roads will be put down. But for now, I just kind of mapped out where everything is. Over there is probably going to be an iron factory. But right now we need some basic coal so we can get some things unlocked. And it'll just make everything a lot smoother. So I'm just going to back off of this like that. I already carved out the sides, so these are fine. Well, the tops. And I think we're only going to use one part, and it's not going to be a fancy thing at all. It's just going to be simple to make the basics that what we need. That's all it is. And then we'll eventually make a nice factory out of it. That damn fucking thing always walks in my way. Can you move? Thank you. Don't walk this way. Go away. Get out of here. Thank you. Alright. So I'm just basically going to probably just get us up and running just to make the basics. Honestly. I just want to get a little steel going. Nothing absolutely crazy. Nothing to take charge of our power or anything else like that. What the hell am I on? I'm missing concrete. Wonderful. Alright, I'm going to head back to the hub, grab some concrete, and I'll be back. Alright, so we are ready. Kane, shut up. Alright, so we're ready to kind of get moving on some basic steel. We need to get this milestone done. So let's give this what we have, and we'll go grab everything else we need. Everything here. Alright, so rotors and modular frames and some, what else is that? Wire. So we can grab one of those. We need rotors. 150 of those. We should be good with that. Oh yeah, we're good. And then let's go up, grab that wire, and we'll unlock the basic steel. Woof. Alright. That. Let's send this off. Alright, so then we just need vehicle transport, enhanced security, and then we'll be running down this line. But for now, let's go do our basic steel. So we are going to be setting up some foundries. Let's make sure I got everything I need for the foundries. Let's see, even if we just set up 3, it wants more modular frames. We're going to go grab some of those. Good thing we're making them. There we go. We got everything, it looks like, but at least 3 foundries, which we might set up more. It might be all right. It might be not. We'll find out. It'll be fine. All right, so let's head back to where we're going to set that up. So there's our power looking nice sitting up there. I think eventually when we get concrete and we could fill that up really nicely, it'll look good. We'll build a nicer bridge than what's across there now. There's a bridge going across that way. So basically, our basic steel, basically, here's going to be concrete factory, I think, over here. Because we got 3 limestones over there, which will be nice. But the basic steel I need to get up and running before I even make an iron factory or a limestone factory, whatever we're going to do here. But we gotta get this up and running. So anyway, over here, this is where we have 2 coal and 2 iron. Right now, we're just going to work off of 1. I do not have miners. I forgot to grab miners, but it's fine. You can make miners on the fly as long as you have the materials, and we should. So, 2 portable miners. Let's grab 2 of those. Perfect. And let's set down a miner right here. And a miner here. There we go. Alright, so this is going to be 120 per minute. This is going to be 120 per minute. We could actually fill these guys up because I did do some mining off the tops of these. And let's see. This is going to be hard. We should probably raise this up by 1. At least to there. Wow, I just fell off of there. Alright, let's just do that. And that. And we'll just lift everything up a little bit because it'll make things easier. Raised up. Eventually, I think our factory is going to be up higher. And these miners will sit down in like a basement setting. But for now, we just want something for some basic steel. Alright, let's bring out the foundries. So you can see exactly what we're going to need. Steel. So we need iron and we need coal. It's a 3-to-3 ratio, 45 and 45 per minute. These are 120 per minute. So, how do we want to split this up? We could underclock these and do 40 per minute. We could do, well, let's see, 120 divided by 4. So that's one thing great about this is they give you an in calculator, right? So 120 divided by 45 equals 2.6, right? We don't want that. So let's do 40. So if we set each of these to 40 per minute, which these are 45, 3, 45, 45, 45. We're good. We're going to do this to 40 per minute, right? What that's going to do is 40, 80, 120. So that's where the 3 come in and it works out quite nicely, right? Do that there. Do that there. So we have to do equal parts of iron to coal. So let's grab some lifts. That will make things a little bit easier. And we're going to put a splitter with the in on that side. And I actually want this on the other side. I want it to match this. Nope, nope, nope. There we go. There we go. So don't forget to be using your Mark IIs for at least the part, this part, going across. This could be a Mark I because it's only 40 per minute, but I have it as Mark II. We could set these as Mark Is. That would be fine as well. There we go. Alright, the next thing. Why don't we come this way? And I'll put a splitter coming in. Wow, I just hit the wrong button. That way. And then go down the line this way. And then that way. So that could be a Mark I. That could be a Mark I. This needs to be a Mark II. This could be a Mark I. And then we need a lift. So that's going to go in from there, but it has to be a Mark II. Perfect. So that, let's go with a 3. That is a 120, so that's a Mark II. And then we're going to do up here, Mark II, going that way. That's fine. It's not neat, it's not clean, it's better than nothing, but it's all right. As long as it's not entangled with anything, I'm fine with that. I'm fine. Okay, so let's add a couple of more spots here. I don't like how these leaves are coming through. That's fine. All right. So now each one of these are going to be putting out 40, which is 120, which we can kind of gather together. So let's go ahead and put a merger on that. We'll have it going out this way, right? And then it could turn that way. These could be a Mark I. And then these need to be a Mark II. That way. Alright. So now let's grab a constructor. Let's put it down here somewhere. It doesn't matter too much. And go inside. So we got beams and we got pipes. Beams, they need 60 per minute. Pipes need 30 per minute. So we have 120. 60 and 60 is 120. So we could do 2 pipes to 1 beam. And that would be fine for now. Now, it's not going to make a lot, like I said, but it's definitely something. And it'll be completely fine. So we're going to do beams here. That's 60 per minute. And then we got 30 and 30, which is another 60. So that equals the 120 we need to keep this going. And we'll be producing beams and pipes. So we're going to split. We're going to get rid of this idiot because he's right in our way. Thank you. All right. We're going to split this up here. So, gosh darn it. Are you in my way? No, you're not. You're fine. So this could be a 1, remember? This could be a 1. And that could be a 1. And then this definitely needs to be a 2. And then we can hook that up into there. We can make it straight. We can curve it. We can, anything we want. That's fine. So now we need some power. So let's grab this. We'll just put that. 1, 2, 3. Let's bring it back to... Oh, I did not want to do that. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Let's jump up here. I want to... Gosh darn it. I am not having a good time jumping up here for some reason. Alright, there we go. So we want to grab that. We could bring it here. I'm going to make this a Mark II. which will make things very simple. So we got 1, 2, 3. That's 6. And then we're just going to bring a power line to, come on, over here. Actually, let's come over to here. We'll run it back to this guy. And then we'll run that back to where we just set up our coal. And we'll have power. And then we're going to have to put some organization on there. Alright, so let's head back. And we'll set up some organization. I'm going to let it run a little bit. And then I think we'll do some stuff in the MAM that maybe we were stuck on because we didn't have pipes. Alright, so organization. Alrighty. Our ore is getting in there nicely. We are producing everything nicely. We could actually throw this extra coal in here just to get rid of it. So anyway, that's going to run down the line. That's going to work. We'll grab our pipes as soon as we get some. Actually, we could start grabbing some now. We're going to need a lot more than that. But let's go ahead and run back to the hub and see what we need for our MAM. Alright, here we are at the MAM. One of the things that I want to do is this, which means we need to make fluctuators. Fluctuators need pipes. Let me click on here and I'll show you. We'll open that up in the codex. 3 pipes per 1 fluctuator. It's a lot of pipes. That is going to be something that we definitely need to work on so we can start duplicating, which is going to be amazing. One thing I do want to do is we were a little short on power. We are no longer short on power. So I'm thinking on the SAM here, we're going to just set up a small little thing to start making us some reanimated SAM. So this way, when we could start making fluctuators, we could add to that as well. So let's go into, what was I going to get? The miner. I got tons of miners here. Yeah, let's do that. Let's go ahead and set up a miner on here with a constructor and make some reanimated SAM. So production miner, I think we're going to actually turn this around just to give us some space, which will be fine. This is going to be the SAM. That's going to come back around into a constructor, which is going to turn around in that space. And we're going to bring this around and come into there. This is going to be making reanimated SAM. We're going to set this up to some power right there, which is fine. So now we can make the reanimated SAM. Now, the one thing, hold on, I just actually need more power. There we go. The one thing we can't do is make fluctuators until we have a manufacturer. We have not unlocked manufacturers yet. So everything we make as far as the fluctuators go is going to be by hand. So I'm going to just set up a little storage bin here and we'll collect that. And we'll make that by hand. It won't be a huge, big deal at all. I'll probably let this run just a little bit. And maybe I'll go look for a crash site or two to see if I can find some computers. And then I'll be right back and we'll start doing some work in the MAM. Alright, so I thought about it for a second. And before we go anywhere, we might as well start working through a lot of this stuff. So let's select this milestone here and we'll grab... Actually, what can we submit here? I think we could submit most of it. There we go. We just need some more rotors. That's easy enough to grab. We can get through a lot of these milestones pretty quickly. And, you know, it makes sense. Why not do it if we have the materials to do it? And it takes a couple of minutes for each one to come back anyway. So this way we can at least get a head start on some of this stuff. Alright, so vehicle transportation, we got that done with. Enhanced security, we could do that. That's reinforced plates. We have to wait for that to come back, but we might as well grab 600 rods. And we got 1, 5, 10, 15. We already have the wire, so I just got to get rods. This pod doesn't come back for another 4 minutes or so, so we're alright. Let's grab those rods. Alright, and do that. I'm going to store that coal and sulfur. So when we get back, or I could start making black powder, let's see. I could start making the black powder. Let's do it. All right, so we got some black powder now. Let's go into sulfur. We need those pipes. That's fine. We need encased beams. I think we have some of those, don't we? Those are empty. Encased beams. No, I guess we did not. So we have a lot of hunting still to do. I thought I did a lot and moved it over here, but I guess I did not do as much as I thought. Quartz crystal. We do have enough quartz. We have quartz over here. We could do that. Let's go ahead and make some quartz crystal. All right, so our pod is back. Let's go ahead and submit these. Send that off. Go into our next one in tier 4, which is blueprinting. That will be nice. We could select that. We'll grab the stuff when we get the beams. I am done with the quartz crystal pretty much. Let's go into that. So let's see, what do we need? We need some reinforced plates to make crystal oscillators. That is just the rebar, which I don't care too much about. So let's get the reinforced plates. Let's go ahead and grab those modular frames. We're not making a lot, again, but it's good enough to get this going, and that wouldn't be a bad idea. So crystal oscillators, let's go ahead and research that. That's going to help us with our signs when we're ready to make signs. Over here, we need more. I've got to make the crystal oscillator. That's fine. Alien technology, we want to do that. The black powder, we still need the pipes. Here, we need the encased beams. Here, the turbo fuel, we're not ready for that. All right, I'm going to go pick up the pipes and some beams, and I'll be back. All right, our pod has returned. Let's go ahead and submit our blueprints. There we go. Logistics 3, let's grab that when it comes back. As long as we can get more beams and stuff, we're good. Alien technology. All right, so we definitely have to pick up our Mercer sphere right here, and we need to get those fluctuators going. We don't have the computers yet. We have to go searching for those, but this we can do as long as we have some circuit boards. So if we come on over to here, I believe there's circuit boards in one of these. I keep thinking I have stuff. That's only 6. Can we make some circuit boards? Let's see. Not yet. So I'm gonna have to go hunting. Hunting is gonna be significant to get this stuff done. But we're gonna get through these milestones quite quickly. We have the pod returning in 5 minutes. In the meantime, I think I'm gonna clean out my inventory just a little bit. Let's store all, and then jump up here and store all. And then I'm going to go back down in here. I'm going to grab the concrete. That. I'm going to grab some wire. Some plates. And I think we are going to go off and do a little hunting. Alright, I'll be back. And then I'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Alright, so I did a little more hunting. And our alien technology, I think we can go ahead and do this. Once we grab that reanimated Sam and make a little bit of that. Let's see. Oh, not bad. We were gone for a little bit, and yeah, we built up a little bit of reanimated Sam. I just got to make those fluctuators. Let's take a look here. Alright, I got to make 29. Let's do that. Alright, let's take a look. Alright, so alien technology. Let's drop into here. Start the research. Alright. Over here, we need to make 100 fluctuators. We could do that soon. I gotta pick up more pipes, and then we'll be able to duplicate. But before we can start manually uploading, we actually need to put a dimensional depot on something. So let's see, we need more fluctuators and some mod frames. That's not a problem. We'll make some more fluctuators here. Let's grab some of those modular... Well, we'll grab the modular frames when we go and put a dimensional depot on something. Alright, so let's go here. We'll make some more. Okay, we ran out of pipes. I did get those encased beams we need. So what do we need the encased beams for? Let's take a look at that. No, wasn't here. Wasn't here. What about the quartz? No. No. That one. With the black powder. Do we have 100 black powder? Let's see. We have 200 black powder. Awesome. Alright, so this one. That'll give us another hand slot. Yes, that's good. We need that. Alright. That one we needed more fabric. We're good with that. Alright. So let me go grab some more pipes. Let me sort this out. Throw some of this stuff in here. I think in the meantime, I am going to run one of these hard drives. Due to the fact that there is some alternative recipes I would like to get before we move too far along. Alright, so now that I got some fluctuators going, let's go ahead. Oh, darn, I forgot about that hard drive. What else can I do? What else can I do? Alright, so I changed our milestone from Logistics 3 to Advanced Steel only because we're having a long time getting those reinforced plates being made. They're going very slow. I could probably turn off the modular frames, but let's see if we have enough modular frames to do the Advanced Steel at least, and then maybe turn it off and just put all those reinforced plates into a storage bin. We are almost done here. As long as we get 2 more, we should be good. And then I'll turn off the splitting here. We're waiting for modular frames here, reinforced plates. There we go. We can actually just help that along. That's fine. Alright, so I'm just going to cut this off from here. There we go. And let them all go into storage. We need 400 for the Logistics 3. So let's go ahead and see if we got some modular frames here now. We needed 2. Got them. And then we need rotors, pipes, and concrete. Just make sure we can grab all that. Rotors. 200 of those. Concrete. 500 of that. And let's ship this off. Alright, that's good. Come into here. Encased beams we can make now. Encased beams we can make. Yeah, we could finish off all these milestones. And then we'll be up to the space elevator, too, which is not bad. But yeah, we're gonna just get through logistics. Yeah, and all the rest of these. These should not take us very long. Alright, to help the reinforced plates along, we are making plenty of plates. I'm going to sort this out. Let's take all, push them into here, and then I'm gonna take all and push them into there. Let's see, and they should get stored into here. And then I think what we'll do is we'll drop something out of here. Let's do an in. Is that not lined up perfectly? Not quite. There we go. And then I think what we'll do is we'll turn this one into screws for now. That'll be fine. Take these plates out of here. There we go. And then I will take this assembler here. Spin this around. We need some rotors. Let's grab those. There we go. There we go. And we'll just force some extra reinforced plates. The MAM Research is done, so our hard drive is done. But let's get these reinforced plates up and running, because we're going to need those anyway. That should be fine. And then that to that. That is going to be reinforced plates. I have a power pole here that's only a Mark 1. We'll make that a 2. We are missing quick wire. Of course we are, because I took everything out of our inventory. In the meantime, let's go over to here and grab the quick wire. Got it. Okay, make that into a Mark 2. Connect that to there, and then put another storage bin right there, just to get that going. Perfect. Alright, let's go back, check our hard drive really quick. Alright, so we scanned, we got Steel Caterium wire. Let's rescan. And basic iron ingot. We could do that with that. Nothing crazy. Nothing I really wanted. It's fine. Alien technology. I have now made fluctuators. I think we have enough circuit boards. Let's double check. If not, we still can't do it. Oh no, we got plenty. And we have a Somersloop in here. Right here. Let's take that. And we'll be able to duplicate now. Let's see. Right here. There we go. Come on. Let's start research. Alright, we can amplify. Awesome. Alien technology, sulfur quartz. Where was that? Pipes there. We just need cable. I'll go grab some of that. In the meantime, we could do a dimensional depot. I think we'll do it on our... We could do it on our plates. That would be great, actually. So let's put the dimensional depot up there, if I can. I am missing modular frames. Of course I am. And we're not making... Well, we made a couple of modular frames. We should in theory have it. Yeah, we should. Alright. Is that all I'm missing? I think I might be missing a Mercer sphere. I am. I do a lot of running back and forth. Because I dump stuff off, and then I pick stuff up, and then I don't have the stuff I need. And that is why dimensional depots are amazing. So, yeah, as long as I have some stuff in my dimensional depot, we'll be good to go. Alright, so I actually have that going out to that. What's another thing we could use dimensional depot on? Let's see. You know what? Wire is always good to have. You need to set up stuff or whatever you need it for. You know what's another one is copper sheets when you're setting up pipes and you run out of copper sheets. Any one of those will be good. I usually, you know what? I know exactly what we're putting it on. Concrete. Now, mind you, we can take it off. It doesn't have to stay, which is great. But concrete is definitely something you would want out when you're building. So we're going to connect this up. There we go. Once we do that, this is going to open. So let that fill in. And then once we hit tab, there we go. We're going to take from our inventory before the depot. That's going to be super important. But now that this is open, let's see. Plates I want next. So I'm going to drop some plates in here. That's always good to have. And that's going to upload. Now when we're on the run, I can stick Mercer spheres, anything I need in here, and that's going to help us out a great deal because there's some stuff in pods that are, you know, crash sites that we need and that we'll have on hand from our depot. So we have that up and running. The amplifier. Let's go ahead and add a few more of these on here. There we go. I went too far. Did I? No, I'm fine. All right. Come on, baby. There we go. We don't have to go that far. That's fine. There we go. All right. I'm going to grab one of these storage bins. I'm just going to set up that right. I set that wrong. It's fine. It's fine. I'm rushing a little bit. Let's go there. All right. Let's saw this. Thank you. Get out of my way. All right, I'm just going to set up a sink. A special sink. I'm going to turn it around here. Actually, I want it to go that way. There we go. All right, so that's our sink. I'm just going to cook that up to some power. There we go. And stop. Okay. So next, I'm going to grab a constructor. Right here. And we could put it right there is fine. Alright. And then I'm going to grab that. And I'm just going to put it in front of there. There we go. So now, let's just do biomass leaves. I'm going to stick in a duplicator. Now, the first time you duplicate, it doesn't copy the first thing. I'm just going to grab some power slugs. And I'm just going to make... Actually, we don't even need to speed this up. It's fine. We'll speed it up after we make it. So let's hook this up to power. There we go. Alright, so the first thing we're going to duplicate is leaves. Alright, there we go. So the next thing I'm going to duplicate is power shards. So now, once I get these 3 made, I'm going to collect that here. We could just take the biomass out of there. That's fine. Let's go ahead and grab the 2 and then that one. And now that we've got that, we could throw it in here and we're getting that all duplicated. And now that's going to speed up that. That's amazing. So power, we're good on power. 400 out of the 900. Not bad. So now we can start duplicating all our animal DNA, all our power slugs, everything we have. So we have that up and running now. That's going to be great, great, great. We just got this back. So in structure, we can do that and that. We are missing some stuff. We need the encased beams. So we can make those now. And then we also need modular frames, which we are not making. So we need to do that as well. Alright, so we got the 50 made. Where are we? Bump, bump, bump. Then we just need the modular frames. Now, because we have duplicating now open, we can actually rehook up this to the... Well, you know what? Yeah, we could do this. We could do this. Because we are also making some more over there, which is great. I am missing iron plates because I uploaded some of them to the Dimensional Depot. It's fine. Let's grab some of those. That's fine. This is making our reinforced plates, which is great. And we still have more in there. Let's go ahead and grab this. It's more of a waiting game. Oh, reinforced plates. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Apparently. Alright, let's do that. Alright. So let's go ahead and do that again. There we go. I'm going to go over to here, check this out. We need 200 of these. I am going to start duplicating these, which is fine. I'll even overclock this a little bit. We'll get that going a lot quicker. So we need 200 of those. Same thing over here. I think we might as well stick some duplicates here. So I do this when I'm literally just trying to get through milestones and stuff like that. I'm going to start duplicating some of our power slugs, our DNA. We could do a little shopping in our store. Let's check our other 2 milestones. So I do need wire. I'm going to go grab that. This one, we need the reinforced plates, the pipes, and the beams. We have that, except for the reinforced plates. And then this one, we need a few more of these. So we could actually, let's do that. What do we need? Copper sheets and, yep. Let me get the copper sheets because then we could send that one off while we're waiting for the modular frames and the reinforced plates. So that's super good. I'll make a couple of more encased beams. Not a big deal. Copper sheets, we need 500. We'll take 600. We're good. So you can definitely speed through these tiers once you're making everything. And you can up the stuff with, again, power shards or duplicating and all that good stuff and get it all done pretty quickly. In the meantime, I'm going to make some more of the encased beams because we do need that for here. And then I'm going to grab our wire. Alright, so our pod's returned. Let's go ahead and submit this. We are so close. Let me see if I got some modular frames. I thought we had enough, but we didn't. 14. We're close. We're close. We're close. I took the duplicator out because we were actually over the 600. 649, yeah. But I'll put it back in for a couple of minutes. I don't want to burn off our biofuel, but it's fine. I've been actually cutting down some trees. So we got a couple of more leaves and wood to put in there. So that's not bad. Just to keep it going. I mean, we have plenty going, but it's always good to keep it full if we're not doing anything anyway. Yeah, I thought I had more than enough modular frames. Alright, so we're about 28 short. So let's grab those. Let's grab these. Let's see what we got. So this is close to our 400. We're getting there with that. I think, let's see, what can we do here? I mean, we still got quite a few. Let's break that in half. Throw them in there. Yeah, we'll get them in no time. In the meantime, let's see what else we could do. So, we're almost close to that. Let's go into here. I'm going to switch this over. I do got to get the wire for that. I'm going to select this milestone and put everything we need in there. That is pretty darn close. 51. Let's go get the wire for the other one. So you can actually fill these up without sending them, but you won't get the stuff back if you want the stuff back. Once it's in there, it's in there. So you can't get it back, but it's fine. I am going to float off the edge of the world if I'm not careful. Alright, I just want to grab a little bit more of that. I wasn't sure how much we needed, so... Alrighty, so let's switch back to the other milestone. Select. We got the 2,000 there. We need... Let's add the modular frames there. We need 18 more. We got 8, so we'll need 10 more. Not too bad for going through tiers 3 and 4 with just a small base setup and some little bit of coal power and a little bit of steel. Not too bad that we got through a lot of these milestones and a lot of the MAM. So, I mean, we're really cranking along. You may wonder why I'm rushing. I do want the faster power. I think that is always good. And I'm just taking a look quick here to see if I get some quick wire and plastic, we can actually do that. I think I did get plastic, and I think we have enough. So we might as well... Where's that Caterium? Is that up here? No, it's not there. It's there. There we go. So we'll just crank through the MAM and crank through all this stuff that we can do, right? It just makes sense. And we can progress at a much higher thing. And I like doing that. It's one of my favorite things to do. We need high-speed connectors. High-speed connectors are made with Caterium wire and circuit boards. We do not have circuit boards yet, so we're going to have to wait for that. Mycelia, we could still do this hand slot once I make fabric. Not a big deal, honestly. Power slugs, we came as far as we can go. That will be made soon. This detonator, that is something I definitely want to do, so let's grab some cable. Then we'll grab those modular frames, send that off, and hopefully we'll get those reinforced plates pretty soon. There we go. Let's send that off. There we go. Let's come on over to here. We were here. We wanted to make the detonator. That's nice. We are well on our way here, guys. Well on our way. Let's go to the... here. So, we can make nobelisks. And we can make a detonator. We just need an object scanner. An object scanner, we just need reinforced plates. We could definitely go over there and steal some of those because we're going to be needing them anyway. And we could select our next milestone. So let's grab all that we have in here. And all that we have in here. And we'll make sure we take those Somersloops out and the power slugs when we're done. So this way it brings our power down and we're not going through biomass. That would be nice. Object scanner, that's what we would do in here. Perfect. And then we'll make some nobelisks. And now we can blow stuff up. Awesome. So if there is a Somersloop or a Mercer Sphere or a power slug or just a cave that we can't get into, we'll have some nobelisks. And you know what's a great idea with these is to upload these in the dimensional depot there. That helps quite a bit. Just so you have them on hand when you need them. Let's go back over to here, logistics, and we needed how many? 51. We have 52. As soon as that pod returns, we'll send that out, and that will complete tiers 3 and 4. We never did jump pads. We could always do that somewhere along the line. Not a big deal. I don't use them, so I don't do them. But we could just do them to kind of complete the game, which would be nice. And let's go ahead and ship off our last, but not least, milestone. Whoa, in tier 4. Alright, so there we go. Send it off. So my original thought was, let's stop the video here and do the space elevator parts on the next episode. But then I thought, well, that's kind of silly. We really should just finish it off here. So because we opened up the Mark III belts, which do 270, I actually overclocked this to 300. Technically, I could do 240 because we're only splitting this up to 240. So I kept the original, which is 120, and I built an upper layer, which you could do just by following the beginning of this video and just doing exactly the same thing on top. So basically, these are Mark III belts, but they could be Mark II because it's only got to travel at the 120 because they're each taking the 15. And over here, I added 2 water extractors, just the same as these 2 water extractors, identical. So you could do this on your own. I needed to add more power, and I didn't want to have to show you repeat the same thing over again. So the only belts that need to be the 270 belts are this coming out here, and then these could be the 120. But I just made everything Mark III because I had the belts and it just worked out that way. So anyway, I'm going to head back to the hub and we're going to set up for the space elevator parts. I'm going to let the game run and we're going to submit them. So let's go ahead and head that way. Alrighty, first things first, we need to build a space elevator. We are missing wire. So let's go grab that. Alrighty, so this doesn't have to be anything neat or clean. This is not going to be the permanent spot for it at all. That just gives us what we need, 1,000, 1,000, and 100. Super easy. Over here, I think we'll just extend this out. So let's press R, zoop. We'll go that way. Not too far. I don't want to go off the edge of the world here. There we go. So basically, I'm going to be making these space elevator parts on the fly. That's kind of what I do. Eventually, I don't think we will. I think we'll actually set up maybe this base for our space elevator parts. But for now, this will work. So what are we going to need? We're going to need 3 of the assemblers. Turn them around. And I think we'll put that one there, and that one there. Next, we need some organization. I'm just going to put one. Back that up a little. So this is going to have an in and an in. Let's bring this over to here. Does not like the thing there. That's fine. We could turn this like this. I think that'll work. Let me put that away. That's annoying that it keeps popping out of there. Alright, we got that and that. And then we just gotta do this one and that one. Alright. So this one will be the automated wiring. This one will be the versatile framework. And this guy over here will be the smart plating. We're going to put an organization after it. We are missing plates. I'm going to go grab those. But before I do that, let's see what we need. Stators and cable. So let's grab a whole bunch of cable. Stators I have from crash sites, so that'll be no problem. Modular frames and beams. Reinforced plates and rotors. Okay, let's go grab what we need. Alright, so I'm back, and this guy needed cables and needed those stators. And then I am going to overclock this, Somersloop this, turn it up, and give them power. Same with this guy. We need modular frames and beams. I definitely have to go get some beams, but this is why we needed the extra power. So every time we overclock something, Somersloop something, it takes a ton of power. And I'll show you in a moment. Alright, so we need rotors And then we also need reinforced plates. Over here we need modular frames and those beams. I gotta go grab those. So everybody should start making stuff soon. Hey, there we go. And let's take a look. All right, so this is why we needed the power. 1,500 we have. 1,200 is the coal, and 300 is the actual biomass. So we're going to be fluctuating around there, but yeah, that's the intensity in which we raised the power. So that is why we needed more power, just to do that, and it will come in handy anyway until we get some oil. So it works. I'm just going to use 3s, and we're going to go get some beams. I'll be right back. Alright, so I'm back with the beams. I threw them in there. Other than that, this is just a waiting game, and then we'll submit it and we'll get going. Look at this. We're already up to 61. We only have to make 100 of those, so we're in good shape. How are we on cable? Cable's rolling in. We're good. We're good. Here, and we got everything Somerslooped, and I will just keep making sure these guys have enough. And when we're done, I will be back. Alright, so we're back. And let me just tell you what the holdup was. Well, what the holdup will be for you. If your automated wiring is done, which gets done quite quickly, switch it over to the smart plating and have 2 making the smart plating at one time. It's very much needed. Smart plating is made at half the time as this. Let me show you. So these we get 10 per minute. These we get 25 per minute. So it's actually more than half. And so it takes a lot more time for the smart plating to be made over the, versatile framework. So another holdup I had was beams. Of course, the whole time I'm waiting, it was daytime. And now it's nighttime, but you know what? It's neither here or there. It's fine. It's fine. So let's go ahead. Let's grab all of this. We have the automated wiring here. We are not going to fit the smart plating. No, we are not. All right, that's fine. We'll submit these and then we'll submit the smart plating. So you don't have to be up there as long as you're can. There we go. There we go. All right, so we'll submit all that. Let's go grab the smart plating. So yeah, that was the holdup. This and beams. Beams I was running out of. So I ended up overclocking our steel and turning all 3 of them into beams. So this way we could get that done, and then I switched it back. So that's something you could definitely do. So anyway, we're gonna ship this off. Alright, we are done. So can you believe in one episode, we got small steel, we got small coal, and we added a little bit to that coal. We also got all of 3 and 4 complete, and that is because we had a decent base setup, and that helped out so much. Having your base kind of organized, and having a couple of little extra things that you can grab and handcraft helps tremendously. So now let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to work on next. All right, so we have tiers 5. Jetpack, that would be nice, but oil processing, that's going to be definite. This is what we're going to do. We're going to be doing oil processing, petroleum power, and all this stuff. This is necessary. Encased beams, we are not making those yet, but we will be making them. We're not making motors yet, but we have enough to get the oil processing done. So logistics 4, that will be the Mark IV belts. That's the 480. That's when we're going to really start building some factories and getting everything kind of moving. Yeah, so that's going to be our next step, oil processing and petroleum power. All right, so that's going to conclude today's episode. And I really appreciate all of you. Honestly, you guys have been great. I love the comments. I love the feedback. I love so many of you joining the Discord. I've gotten to be some good friends with some of you. And yeah, I also have memberships, 99 cents and $2.99. $2.99 will get you a shout out after every episode, just like coming up next. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.